Seller's disclosures, why they're important and what must you disclose. Hey guys, I'm John with ListMe Realty Group, and today I just want to provide you some general knowledge and information regarding home sellers disclosures. I'm not an attorney. I am not providing financial advice at all. I'm simply providing you with some useful knowledge and information to help you in your home buying process or the home selling process. So, what are the potential things a home buyer is going to need to know, and what do you have to disclose? So we will go over deaths in the home, neighborhood nuances, hazards, HOA information, repairs, water damage, missing items, other possible disclosures, how to disclose, and the bottom line, right? After all, you want to be honest when selling your home. You do not want to pass your problems on to somebody else. It will also save you money in the long run by preventing a lawsuit. So this is really big for home investors that buy homes to flip. Typically, you buy them in a lot more damaged situations, and they need a lot more work. So the disclosures are very important for those homes. So let's go over what a disclosure is. Like I said, I'm just providing you useful information for you. You can do whatever you want with the knowledge. I'm just here to provide the information. Hope you guys like my pink shirt, by the way. So a disclosure document can be important for both home buyers and sellers. When an owner sells a property, they are typically required to disclose certain information in a written document. The requirements vary based on local and state laws. In general, a disclosure document is supposed to provide details about a property's condition that might negatively affect a home's value. Sellers who willfully conceal information can be sued and potentially convicted of a crime. Like I said, be honest. This will prevent a headache in the future. So selling a property as is will usually not exempt a seller from disclosures. So that is important. In general, a disclosure document is supposed to provide detailed information about a property's condition that might negatively affect its value, like I said. So disclosure rules can affect anyone selling a home, but they're especially likely to affect property flippers who buy properties in order to upgrade them and resell them for a quick profit. Property flippers often deal with properties in very poor condition. So there's a lot more work that typically goes into a lot of flip properties. So what are the key takeaways of what we're about to discuss? So property sellers are usually required to disclose information about a property's condition that might negatively affect its value. We went over that. Even if the law doesn't require you to disclose of a problem, it might be wise for a seller to disclose it anyway. Like I said, you don't want to pass on any problems. Local laws can vary, so it's important to check with the appropriate planning departments for details. In Texas, we will provide you with a seller's disclosure. You have to fill that out as honest as possible. So number one of what you will have to disclose: a death in the home. Some buyers have concerns or superstitions about purchasing a home in which someone has died in. Disclosures for this might be required depending on how they passed away. Each state will slightly have different requirements for disclosures. In Texas, for example, deaths from natural causes, suicides, or accidents unrelated to the property do not have to be disclosed. However, a seller is required to disclose deaths related to the condition of the property and or violent crimes. So moving on, neighborhood nuances that you have to disclose, which is often a noise or an odor from a source outside of the property that could irritate the property's occupants. The hazards that you will have to disclose: if the home is at an increased risk of damage from a natural disaster or has known of a potential environment contamination, you may be required to disclose this information to the buyer. Texas law requires sellers to disclose the presence of hazardous or toxic waste, asbestos, formaldehyde insulation, radon gas, lead-based paint, and previous use of the premises for manufacture of methamphetamine. So these are governed by the states. The federal government mandates that you disclose the lead-based paint may be present if the property was constructed before 1978. Let me rephrase that a little bit because I think I may have read that wrong. So while most disclosure requirements are governed by the states, the federal government mandates: one, the disclosure that lead-based paint may be present on any properties constructed before 1978. So let me clarify that. So homeowners association, if the home is governed by a homeowners association, HOA, you should disclose that fact. Associations generally impose monthly fees on homeowners, and they can impose rules on their membership that a prospective buyer might or might not find acceptable. The repairs, if you've done any repairs on the home, what have you repaired and why? Buyers need to know the home's repair history so they can have their own home inspectors pay extra attention to those problem areas and so that they're aware of probable future issues. So, for example, Texas law, for example, requires sellers to disclose previous structural or roof repairs, landfill, settling, soil movement or fault lines, and defects or malfunctions in the walls, the roofs, the fences, the foundations, floors, sidewalks, or any other current or previous problem affecting the home's structural integrity. Water damage, that's a big one, especially in Houston. You know, we flood a lot. So water damage, when water gets in to where it shouldn't, it can damage personal possessions, undermine the home's structural, and even create a health hazard by causing mold growth. Sellers should always disclose past or present leaks of water damage as well. Any missing items in the home. Sometimes home buyers don't realize until the day that they move in that their new home is missing something. So a lot of home buyers assume that certain things are supposed to be there. You do not want to try to get over on them by not disclosing that. Be honest. So a lighting fixture, the refrigerator or the microwave, the fitted blinds, any of these things that could have gone out the door when with the seller if nobody thought to discuss it in advance. So always be honest. Always be honest on the seller's disclosure. Other possible disclosures, the buyers need to know if the home is in a special historic district because it will affect their ability to make repairs and alterations. And it might also increase the cost of those activities. So Texas law requires sellers to disclose active termites or other wood destroying insects, termites or wood rot damage in need of repair, previous termite damage, and previous termite treatment. So that is very important as well. You may also be required to disclose problems with the drainage or grading, zoning, pending on litigation, changes made without permits, boundary disputes, and easements. So the bottom line to all this is even if a particular disclosure is not required in your area, sellers who have information about their house that could make a buyer unhappy might want to disclose it anyway. In addition to the moral reasons for being honest with prospective buyers and the desire to avoid the expense and hassle of a lawsuit, individuals have a reputation to protect. So sellers who have any concern about whether they've disclosed the property's condition correctly should contact a real estate attorney to discuss those things. So that was just a general summarization and recap of all the stuff that you could expect to disclose on your seller's disclosure. My job is to provide you with as much knowledge and information as possible to help you better determine whether or not you want to buy the property in question. So any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that, you can email us at info@listmerealtygroup.com. You can find us on the web at www.listmegroup.com, or you can find us on Facebook at ListMe Group. I'm sorry, let me start that over. I just said all of that wrong. So it's www.listmerealtygroup.com, info@listmerealtygroup.com, and our Facebook is at ListMe Realty Group LLC. So like us, share us. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please DM us. And Elizabeth and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Like I said, we are just here to educate. Whether you use us or not, this information will be valuable in your home purchasing or selling process. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. Thank you.